Yeah, hi there. Well, I'm here at Ronnie's place, and there's a reason for that. So it's not only about the baccy today. Here at Ronnie's place, or smoking, having a fine coffee and a fine whiskey. No, I want to keep a promise today. So I gave a promise a long time ago. So that was a long time ago. I think it was my second video. Well, I promised to tell a little bit about Vauen company. So, and several weeks ago, some of you asked me, well, didn't you give a promise? Didn't you make a promise about saying something about the Vauen company? I said, yeah, I'm pretty close to that, so I'm gonna do that now. So, my apology, it took me a very long time, but there was so much other stuff, so I wanted to tell. Anyway, today I'm gonna show you something a little bit about Vauen. Want to talk a little bit about Vauen, so but don't expect too much. So I don't want to bore you to death. So I want to do it short. So Vauen company. Vauen company. Speaking of Vauen company, that means speaking of Germany's, I think most traditional and oldest and largest pipe company here in Germany. So Vauen is some kind of big deal. So and yeah, several of you sometimes ask me, could you compare Vauen to another company, or what kind of company is it? So yeah, what if you really want to cut it short? So you could say, well, it's some kind of German Sabinelli. So well, you know, every comparison is just incorrect. So, but well, it's an industrial producer. So they also have a little series of handmade pipes. So, but it's mainly an industrial producer. What doesn't mean it's an extremely large production. So, but it's they do it with machines. So normally, so it's a little bit like Savinelli. So if I want to compare it with other German companies, so I like to compare that with Volkswagen. What? Without the diesel thing, of course. So it's well, it's actually funny because Vauen, they invented the 9mm filter back in the 30s. So that's the filter they invented, and it's a brand, Dr. Pearl. That's their brand. So perhaps you know that if you know the filter, the 9mm filter. But I don't want to talk about the filter today, so I did that in my very first video. Yeah, Vauen company. So when I say, well, that's the most traditional, oldest company, it goes back to the year 1848. 1848, so I think that's pretty old. So, and Vauen, so well, you might wonder, so what does the name mean? So where does it come from? So Vauen, well, this is just the pronunciation in German for V and N. So in English it must be VN normally. So because it's just about the V and the N. So why is that? So in German that means Vereinigte Pfeifenfabriken oder Pfeifenmacher Nürnberg. So that means United Pipe Makers of Nuremberg. So and that's how it started. So yeah, several came together and they just built up that company. But I don't want to go into the history too deep, so I don't want to bore you with that. Anyway, quite successful company. They do a lot of pipes. They do a lot of traditional stuff, and I like that. So, by the way, I'm smoking right now a Vauen pipe. So that's a Vauen Meerschaum pipe. So I bought that back in the late 90s. So it's just a custom built stem, but it's a Vauen Meerschaum pipe, and they really made great Meerschaum pipes. Unfortunately, they don't do it anymore. So sorry for that, but it's a great pipe, but perhaps that's the more unusual part. So they have a lot of classical shapes, classical pipes, I brought several for you. I want to show you. So, but well, it's not in pretty good shape. Excuse me. So this pipe here. So this is the series Deluxe. So and this, well, the name. Yeah, the name may fool you. So because the name is Deluxe, but well, this is quite economy. So this is under 100 euros. I think it's 89 or something like that euros. So it's really nice quality and it's damn reliable. So this pipe, I don't know. I smoked this pipe in my office. Yes, in my office. That was several years ago, where it was still allowed to smoke in the office. So I smoked that, I don't know, 5 times a day when I was in the office, year after year after year. So that is really, this is good quality. And this is what I wanted to say when I say you could compare that to Volkswagen. So that's all good quality. So it is even high quality, it's high standard. But it's not the highest standard you can get. So it is not Jacopo, for example, so, or Viprati, or one of these fancy, fine Italian pipe makers, which I love. But it is really good quality. It is good craftsmanship. It's well done. The quality is pretty fine. The price, well, that is from fair, perhaps for a Deluxe. So this is another Deluxe, same series, Deluxe series. So from fair, this is really fair price. So 90 euros or about 90 euros for that fine pipe. So I think that's fair. So up to a little bit too much. So normally it's a little bit too much. So because you pay for the name. So they have a pretty good name here. So I think that's, yeah, that's the way the word is. So yes. So they do a lot of traditional stuff. And that's what I like. So they have a large, they have many different shapes and classical shapes. I think they have the whole range. And I show you what they do. So this would be another example. So I won't tell you to every pipe the number and so on. You can Google that or you watch on the internet. So these are just examples of for what they do. So this is part of the new series. Can't even read that. So I don't know. Number says 4286. So this, for example, is 89 euros. So show you that. So well, of course that's not everyone's taste. So they do a lot of different stuff, and I want to show you. Yeah, something special. So this is 129, for example. This is called Cap 2. Yeah. Well, you may like it or not, but anyway. So the thing about Vauen is, well, it's a fine producer for the day you want, for the pipe you want to smoke every day. So these are reliable pipes. So they give you pretty good quality. You can rely on that. But beyond that, they are pretty deep into engineering. So I call that pipe engineering. So they do things nobody did before. I'm going to show you an example. This pipe, I don't know, came out a year ago perhaps. So, well, that might not look so unusual first moment. So it's a 9mm filter pipe, of course. So, but the thing is, you can turn that pipe. So you can turn the head. Don't worry, I don't break it. So, I don't know, perhaps you could even use it like that. So, the thing is, and that's the complicated part, So the air has to go through in any direction. So you can it always fits. So that is really a piece of pipe engineering, and I'll show you how it works. So they do it like that, where you see, oh well, that's pretty piece of engineering. So you just clip it, and then it works. And the idea behind that is that you can store that easily here in the pocket, perhaps. So that's the idea behind that. So this is an unusual piece, I think. So this is 199, and this is called Vauen Spin. I think that fits. So Vauen Spin, an interesting piece. So I talked to the company man one day. So he was here at Ryan's place. I was talking with him, and I asked him about these very special, unusual pipes they do once a year or twice a year. They come out with something very strange. So a pipe the other way around, where they drilled the hole down to the bowl. So, and I asked him, so is there anybody who needs this? And he said, well, it's not about selling these pipes. We just want to show that we can do it. We just do it because we can, and it's about that. So we just want to show that we are able to engineer pipes in ways nobody else can. I don't know if that's the case, but anyway, they do a fine job with that. So in pipe engineering. So I'll give you another example. So this pipe, well, that's crazy for me. So I don't even see the name. I'll show you that. So this pipe comes in a bag. Excuse me, comes in a bag. So like that. So it's a leather bag, and inside that is the pipe. Let me. The price, I don't know the price. So I think it's called pocket. Vauen pocket, yeah. And that's how it looks. Look at that. That is the whole pipe. That's the whole pipe. Show you how it works. You just turn the head here, like that. And then you see on the other side, here, this is for the tobacco. So that's the bowl. I just fill up the bowl, and then this is the stem. That's all. You just use it like that. You take a short smoke outside. After that, you just turn it around and store it in your pocket or on that fine leather bag. So this is 159, for example. I don't think that's much for that piece of engineering. So you have to think about, well, especially the drilling. That is really extremely complicated to keep that sharp, that the drilling works. And I don't know, that's really fine pipe engineering. So definitely that's not for me. So that's not something that I would buy. But that's what he meant. He said we just want to show that we can do it. So that's a piece of engineering. And yeah, they came out with a new pipe. So this year, look at that. So another special pipe. So this pipe has 3 9mm filters. There, and there. 3 9mm filters. So you can only imagine how dry that smoke must be. You don't have to use the 3 filters. So you can use it without any filter or with only 1 filter, of course. So it's all made from wood. There's no, so except for the stem, of course. So everything else is made from wood. So it's, and the thing about this pipe is perhaps you may have seen in old movies or whatever on the museum. So the old traditional German pipes, these were mainly pipes with a bowl from ceramic. So I don't know, so that I don't want to offend nobody, so but well, I'm not pretty sure if I would like to use that pipe every day. So you can break it very easily, but the thing is, the smoke, the quality of the smoke isn't very good smoke. So the briar pipe is not comparable to that. So, but this is a tribute to these old German pipes, what our grandfathers used to smoke. So my grandfather, or perhaps more my grandfather, I have to say, used this kind of pipe. So let's say World War I. So that's the time where they used this kind of pipes, but not from briar. And nobody ever did that from briar. So because it's very complicated to do that. But they did. So it's a nice piece. It's a featherweight. Really, it's absolutely a featherweight. So it's 249 euros. This is another example of craftsmanship and pipe engineering. Show you another example. So it was a big deal for Vauen to get into this the Lord of the Ring thing. Perhaps you know Vauen from Lord of the Ring pipes. So when then the film came out, Lord of the Rings, they produced the pipe for that. And there was a reason behind that, because they had, really the knowledge how to do that, this kind of pipe that really looks like a Lord of the Ring pipe. So because the difficult thing was the stem, so to make a stem from wood. So you can make a stem from wood, but it's complicated if you really want to smoke it over years. So you have to make an inlay from whatever, acrylic or plastic. So, and well, these pipes were pretty expensive. I show you one pipe. So I got myself one of these pipes after years of thinking about it. So I got the Gimli. So they are named after different characters in Lord of the Rings, of course. So that's a Gimli pipe. So quite good pipes. I don't use it very often. I don't know why, but it's a quite good pipe. So, but when the contract was over, then they came out again with a pipe they called. They're not allowed to call that Lord of the Rings, of course. They call it Auenland, because the name Auenland is not protected, but it means the Shire. So everyone here knows that as Lord of the Rings. So they brought out several new models. I'll just show you two of these models. So really interesting. So especially the stem is fascinating. So, and these pipes are great smokers, so they're really good quality. So you can rely on that. So the quality is absolutely all right. And the price is now, it's not the same price. So it's, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, that was much more expensive than these pipes. But I don't find the price. So Ronnie, what's the price of the Lord of the Rings, of the Auenland pipe? 159. So. Und früher der alte? Und der alte Preis? So that's 100 euros less than before under Lord of the Rings. So that's a good deal, I think. So they do a lot of special things. So show you one of the newest pipes. So I don't know. So well, this pipe is called Canoe. So it's a design pipe, so done by a famous designer. So show you that pipe. Oh, that piece is heavy. So yeah, but these are special pipes. These are special pipes they do to show they can do it. So normally, as I said, they produce a lot of classical shapes. So that's what they normally do. So show you one of these pipes. So this pipe is 89 euros. And well, I think you wouldn't complain about the quality of these pipes. So the quality is pretty good. So the stem fits perfectly, the filter fits perfectly, and the quality of the wood is pretty good. So it is not a straight grain, it is not a bird's eye, it's not the highest quality, it's not a Seja Copo, but it is good quality. So show you another shape. So that's what they normally do. So these everyday pipes. Yeah, and they also do some other things. So they produce some tobaccos. Are not the producers of the tobacco. So that's Horst Lichter's. So Horst Lichter, he is a famous cook here in Germany. So well, these tobaccos are normally, I think, produced by Kohlhauser. So the quality is absolutely all right. But it's perhaps a bit overpriced. So because of the name, I think so. It's the same with the Bavarian. So there's a video on the channel about the Bavarian Blend, and it's done by Kohlhauser. So it's good quality, it's good tobacco. A little bit overpriced for me. That's what I think. So, but they also do some tempers. So before I did my own tempers, so of course I use my own temper, but before that I used a Vauen temper. So that's a very special temper. So that's the temper. Look at that, and then you do that and the temper comes out. You do that, the temper goes in, so there's no dirt, and on the other side there's some kind of metal to take out the ashes. So there are different varieties of that, so in briar and steel and silver. So yeah, you see this company, they do a lot of engineering on pipe stuff, on the pipes themselves, and I don't know, that's something I like. To be honest, I don't have so many Vauen pipes, so I think so you have to think about this by all I said. So they are good pipes, reliable pipes, most prices are fair, but just for me, so I'm quite into the Meerschaum pipe. So and they don't have Meerschaum pipes anymore, and I'm pretty much into these Italian pipes. So I like these Italian pipes, La Natra and so on. But anyway, the Vauen company is a good company. I'm really glad that we have it, because I don't know, they do something. So you might not like everything they do, but they do something. So they try to make some inventions, try to work on these things, and try to get better and better. I think that's a good thing. So to keep things going. So that's also a tradition of Vauen. So they invented the filter in the 30s. They invented several other things. So and they were always on these pipes as craftsmen and some kind of engineers. I don't know. They did a laser airbrush on pipes when it was very new. I think the new pipe, they print a pipe. There's a pipe they do in the printer, so in the 3D plotter or printer. So they always use the newest technologies to do something. It's not that they want to change the production. It's just to show it's possible. So yeah, I think that's it. So if you're a registered customer, so I'm a registered customer at Vauen, so I get a small catalog 2 times a year, so in the spring and in the autumn for the new collection. So they have a spring collection, an autumn collection, and they have a collection they always have, so the classical shapes. Yeah, so I think that's it about Vauen for today. So I don't know, I guess there's something I forgot. So yeah, that's it. Take care, be well. My apology for this very long video, but perhaps you find some interest in the Vauen thing. So yeah, give it a shot. and perhaps see you again. Morning, klein whiskey.